Amanda, a waitress at the local pub, was glad to get off work early today. Yesterday morning, she dreamed that someday she would find time to walk through the night city. Now, she had the time but no desire. She got a ride home from her co-worker Chris. On her doorstep, she ran into her children's nanny Nancy. "Hi, Amanda. We have a good day." The boys were in high spirits all day and fell into deep sleep tonight. "If you will excuse me, I'm going home," she said. And then Amanda remembered, and that she had forgotten to get her day's wage in haste. She was horrified at her absent-mindedness. "Nancy, I remember I have to pay your wage today. Something's been happening to me lately. I keep forgetting things. You know, today I miscounted a check for 2 customers, and they threatened to complain about me." She said I barely managed to resolve the conflict on the spot, feeling genuine self-loathing. "It's okay. It happens. You're just having a hard time. You shall get more rest. Otherwise you will lose your health," Nancy said one last time. Closing the door behind the elderly nanny, Amanda began to talk to herself. "Of course I want to rest sometimes, and at least every other day to sleep in the mornings. But for now, that's my dream. For the sake of this dream, it is worth it to be patient for another 15 years until my twins grow up and become independent. And then, I will finally be able to take a vacation. Until then." Amanda lost her train of thoughts at this point. This has been happening to her a lot lately. She starts any conversation as an adequate person. By the middle of the conversation, she forgets her thoughts and pretends it's were intended. Sometimes, people take her for a lovable weirdo. Other times, they twist at her temple and move on. Other people's reactions don't bother Amanda much, and she didn't like it when she acted so illogical in a conversation with herself. Amanda sat down at the kitchen table and began to think. People came home from work. They are tired and they need to go to bed, but in between, they can do some other little things. This little thing must be pleasant. What's the most minor thing I can do that's enjoyable? Amanda thought about it and caught herself looking like a mad woman. But the next moment, it was as if epiphany came to her. I need to get coffee. She didn't care that she would go to bed in half an hour, and that 1 cup of coffee would cause her many problems at work tomorrow. But such a problematic thought was beyond her now. Now, the woman was faced with a new task. What should be done to make her hot? Fragrant coffee appeared in the mug. Here, she did not have to guess for a long time. Her own eyes came to her aid. They immediately fell on the cupboard turbine, which stood in the most prominent place on the shelf. The kitchen water faucet was making strange noises, and no water was coming from it. Amanda went to the bathroom with a pot in her hand, and a guest was waiting for her. A koala sat on the washing machine panel with 2 hind legs folded under his body. Amanda had never seen this cute animal so close, but now she recognized him immediately. "Good night," the koala answered her politely. "You're a koala. I recognized you right away. Why are you up at this hour?" Amanda asked indifferently. "What?" Amanda kept a calm face. Then she washed her hands and face with cold water, wiped herself with a towel, and returned to the kitchen. She didn't feel like worrying. Mentally, she convinced herself that everything was normal. People came home in the evenings, decided to have coffee from the night. Their faucet broke in the kitchen, and a koala sat in the bathroom talking to people. Repeating those words like a mantra, Amanda took a bottle of something pills out of the refrigerator, swallowed a couple of them, and closed the refrigerator door. She sat on the stool for a couple of minutes, then opened the refrigerator door again and swallowed 2 more pills. Then she sat back on a stool and stared out of the window. It was a night outside, the light summer wind gently caressing her hair and face. There was no telling how much time had passed when Amanda suddenly remembered that having a cup of coffee would be nice. She was right, because the copper pot had come into her hands and she was waiting for something. So it was a sure sign that she should have coffee. She went to the bathroom again. The caller was sitting still. He looked at Amanda with his round eyes and flapped them funny. "Do you want coffee?" she asked. "My name is Adelaide," introduced himself. "I thought I asked you something else," Amanda answered calmly. "I just learned that from you. You wanted to ask me how I got here, but instead, you asked me if I would like drink coffee. Enjoyable humor. I want to learn that too," said the guest. "By the way, aren't you interested in how I got here?" No, I'm not," said Amanda, then left the bathroom. But she still needed to reach the kitchen halfway back. "By the way, how did you end up here?" she asked from the doorway. "Steve brought me here. He's a man like you, but looks completely different," Koala said. Amanda sat down on the threshold and decided to think, but the guest decided that he should tell everything in detail. "Your husband Steve caught me in one of Adelaide Conservation's areas, stuffed me in a bag, and threw me in his car. But he had initially gone there for fish," he added. What bag? "Do you know how many kilometers it is from here to Adelaide?" Amanda asked. "The bag was black. It was comfortable, but there was not enough air," replied the koala nonchalantly. "Thank you so much to my beloved ex-husband. He always knew how to surprise me. He decided to give you as a gift in honor of my birthday, but he was a little hasty. My birthday is not for another 4 months," Amanda said. "No, not in honor of your birthday," said the koala, blinking her eyes. Then why?" "Until I saw you, I thought you wanted to eat me. I thought you asked your husband to bring a koala to eat," said the guest, blinking his round eyes instantly. "Oh, I don't eat koalas," replied Amanda. "Then I'm lucky. Lord, thank you for hearing my praise. You know I always lived righteous and keep all your covenants. Thank you for just giving me life again." The koala put his front paws together and prayed. "Your husband wanted to catch a fish for you, but brought a koala." "Why would I want a fish? How does that make sense?" "Well, so we could swim here. You have a lake, don't you?" When the koala asked this question, Amanda looked at him with such amazement that he immediately understood her answer. "Your ex-husband is a terrible man. I know you grieve for him," she said. "Of course I do, because he and I loved each other so much. I thought we had a good life, and then suddenly I found out he was with someone else. How am I supposed to deal with it?" Amanda whined. "You don't know anything about him. I know everything about you. Yeah, it's not easy for you. You have a mom, but she doesn't support you. You're raising 2 little kids by yourself. Your mom could help you, but she's only good at making you feel bad. So you drink a lot, but it's not that bad. You have a sister. She's there for you. She's always worried about you. She's a lovely person, even though she's a slut. That's why your husband was telling his friend on the road. And I'm eavesdropping from the back," he added sweetly. "I also have a cat. He liked to run away from home, but I like to pet him when I'm mean," Amanda said. "Who is the cat?" asked the koala thoughtfully. "So you know who a patine is, but you need to learn about who a cat is?" Amanda asked. The koala smiled, showing off his little teeth. Amanda felt that she needed to take a break from this cute interaction. She returned to the kitchen and thought about what she was wanted to do next. Just then, her cell phone rang. Seeing her mother's number on the screen of her phone, Amanda felt an inner tension. but she didn't have the strength not to answer her call. Mom, you and I spoke half a day ago. What happened? She asked in a tired voice. I'm worried about you. What are you doing now? Mom asked. Do you want the truth? So you have been drinking alcohol again. I'm offering the truth, not your fantasies about me, Amanda said. You promised just last week that you wouldn't drink anymore, and you're thinking about your kids? What happens if you get fired from your job? Who's going to provide for your kids? What does your ex-husband Steve say? Is he even going to share his wealth with you? Is he thinking about his kids? And anyway, where did you find such an idiot who only causes problems? Remember when you started seeing him and I warned you? I was right. It will help if you had listened to me back then. Mom was having a monologue with herself. With the phone on the table, Amanda searched the fridge for something to eat. A chicken egg fell into her hands. She decided that one egg for a snack will be enough for her. Mom was still going on with her monologue. Amanda, you need to get a grip. Amanda, can you hear me? Why aren't you answering me? Are you okay? Or did you pass out? Did you fall asleep at the kitchen table? Why can't I hear your children? Did you lose them? The mother seems to be having a panic attack. Mom, now listen to the truth. I came home from work and decided to have a nightcap, but in my bathroom I saw a koala. This cute, scared koala. He thought I would eat him, and then he and I got to talk about stuff. He knows what a slut is, and he has no idea about cats. Do you have any more questions, Mom? Amanda asked. It's all right with you. You're drink again. I'm sick of you. Mom shouted in the phone and hung up. Amanda suddenly felt a new feeling come over her. This feeling was telling her what she should do next, and she listened to it. The next instant, the chicken egg flew in heat right on the kitchen cabinet. A yellow and transparent stain dripped down. Amanda felt unprecedented relief. She was proud that she had committed such a grand vandalism for the first time. Then she walked over to the refrigerator again, opened its door, and pulled out an open bottle of wine. Usually, she would rush to pour the wine into a glass, but this time, the spirit of vandalism told her to do something different. She went to the window, swung her hand with all her might, and the bottle flew down from the 12th floor. A moment later, the soft sound of the bottle crashed into the pavement. She didn't hear it anymore. She returned to the bathroom to continue her sweet conversation with her funny guests. The koala had already perched on the tube's edge and was dangling his feet. Now, where were we? Kala was stared by the surprise, almost falling from the bath-tube's edge and barely staying there. You say my ex-husband wanted to fish from me. What was that for? Amanda asked. He told his friend he wanted to catch a poisonous fish. It will live with you and you will lose your mind after a while. You had to become insane, replied Koala. Why will he want to do that? Amanda asked. I heard that you're claiming half of his property. He doesn't want to share with you. He was some good associates. He said you know about them. Yeah, you're right about that. He's got quite a family. When we were getting married, he brought me to meet them. His parents didn't think my family was wealthy enough for them, and there was no father. But despite that, he and I got married. And when I gave birth to my twin boys, none of them came to visit. Yeah, I don't envy you. Where did you find such an idiot? And why did you waste your time on him? Asked the koala. I love him. It still hurts. Do you know what love is? I know. I've seen a lot in the forest with rabbits. But you shouldn't be thinking about love right now. It will help if you were thinking about happiness. It's coming to you. But you will have to work a little harder for it. More work? Uh, do I work 10 hours a day every day without a day off? I see my little kids asleep. When I go to work, they're still awake. The kids are growing up. They don't see their mom. Where do I have to work more? Amanda said in a resentful tone. Do you want some wise advice? Remember, difficulties are given to you to learn something significant. And a person learns in 3 ways: reading Bible books and listening to intelligent people. And if you don't feel like it, you can lick a bare wire with your tongue. You choose the 3rd option, said the caller. Thank you. You've lifted my spirits. An hour ago, I just wanted to pass out. And now, I want to jump out the window. You'll make a great psychologist, Amanda said, sighing heavily. You needed to listen to the rest of my story. I didn't tell you the main thing. Why do you want to drink or jump out of the window for every occasion? Koala asked. You animals don't understand that. Your life is simple as possible. Humans need to have it more complex. You say I need to work. I don't have the energy to work anymore. You didn't even ask me what I mean. Well, let's say, this weekend, you shall go to the zoo with your kids. You will see the cheetah enclosure. Your kids are going to love it. You're going to be there for a long time. And then he will come up to you and make a stupid joke. He won't be alone. He's got a son your age. He's raising his son alone. You'll have to do is laugh at his joke. He's shy. And then you will have a quick romance, said the caller. Amanda laughed out loud. That's all your ex-husband Steve told his friend. He'd been to see an old Claverian woman, and the old woman told him so. He got jealous and greedy, so he wanted to do something terrible to you. The clairvoyant advised that the poisonous fish will help take away your mind, and you will have nothing, said the caller. Happiness and familiarity are beautiful fairy tales, of course. But thank you for the sentiment. I want to take the kids to the zoo this weekend, but I'm not going to meet anyone there. Well, you should. I don't tell you the most important thing. He's a famous soccer player. He's got a lot of money and big heart. He had terrible luck with his first wife. She cheated on him with a porn star, then left the baby and moved away. His dream is to raise his son into a legendary soccer player. He can do it, and your boys will grow up to be soccer enthusiasts too. Do you want to give all that up? Then it's up to you. I don't see the point in talking to you anymore. How do I get from here to Adelaide? The caller asked. So, how do I find you if I want to talk to you later? You go to the nature reserve and ask for a guy called Adelaide. That's me, the koala said proudly. I don't know you were the town's namesake, said Amanda. Could it be any other way? We're all called that we're called where we live. Well, I have to go, said the koala, and headed for the exit. A few days later, Amanda and her 2 boys visited the zoo. Although she did not believe in the koala's prediction, she put on a dress just in case. And yes, the boys didn't want to leave the cheetah enclosure. Amanda was fascinated by them too. The guide enthusiastically told the visitors about these amazing animals. Cheetah are mainly found in Africa. They're considered the fastest animals on Earth. I bet the fastest animals is a flea that runs out of running cheetah. Isn't that right? The man said and laughed loudly at his joke. Amanda looked around and saw a handsome man and a little boy beside him. And yes, this was one of the most famous soccer players in the country at the time. Years later, he raised 3 more legendary soccer players, 2 of Amanda's sons, to whom he became a father and his son. When Steve and his parents heard the names of the young soccer players, they silently beat their elbows. Amanda about this terrible family his Snow remembered for a long time.